Hello, today we're going to look at Google Calendar, and more specifically, what we're going to do today is we're going to look at Google Calendar versus Outlook. So I know we all have Google accounts and we all have our .m account, which is your Google account, but how we also have our Outlook accounts and how Outlook is the main one that everyone that we all tend to use. And I know the district sends us emails through Outlook, and that's how you get those, and how some of us have them set up so Google is your primary one, but a lot of us, I know the majority, it's all through Outlook. So today we're going to look at, though, we're going to compare the Outlook calendar compared to the Google Calendar. um, Especially with being virtual and everything right now. I know that we rely heavily on our calendars to make sure we stay up to date with meetings and reminders and things like that. So, a couple things before we dive into comparing the two side by side is that there's a number of features that are actually really similar between the two calendar platforms. It's just the difference at times in wordings and what the buttons are going to be. There are some features that we can have on Outlook or we can have on Google that don't actually directly transfer to the other. So there are some like give or takes. And then Google Calendar actually does not require you to have a Gmail account. It can be created using any email address. But for us, this is not a problem because all staff have access to their, like I said earlier, their .m or their Google email accounts. So you'll already have that because you're a part of the Google, the whole platform there with Docs and all of that. So looking at this is a direct comparison, and this came straight from Google. So this is them showing you how the difference between the Outlook calendar compared to theirs. So there's still a lot of things that you can do. And like I said, it's just a difference in wording. So in Outlook, if you're scheduling a meeting or an appointment, in Google, that's the same thing. It's just creating an event. You can create reoccurring events in both. You can transfer ownership in Outlook. To transfer ownership of an event, you have to delete it and then create it, recreate it. But actually in Google, you can just simply change the event's owner. You can schedule one-on-one meetings as individual meetings in Outlook, and then you can create one-on-one meetings or bookable appointment slots in Google. I know some of us have used the Google Calendar, and it's really easy to try to schedule things such as IEP meetings and things like that, where you can just simply send the invitation, and if that does not work for you, you decline it, which then pushes it back to the sender so they know, like, oh, that day doesn't work, we got to find another one. You can add attendees to an email invitation, and on Google, you can add groups or guests to events. You can see if people are free or busy on Outlook, and in Google, you can also see if people are available or choose from suggested meeting times. A few other things that are compared between the two. You can see new meeting times from Gmail users in Outlook, and in Google, you can accept new meeting times from Outlook users in Gmail, so they still kind of talk back and forth to one another. You can schedule conference calls in Outlook, and in Google, you can automatically add video calls and event details, so that's already right there and attached to it. You can overlay the calendars. Like, as you can see, like, there's a lot of different things. For instance, in Outlook, publishing a calendar. In Google, that's the same as making a calendar public. So there's a lot of things that are the same between our two calendar systems, and they still do kind of talk back and forth to one another. But one thing that I think that is really nice with the Google Calendar is the fact that you can have like those appointment time slots and share the calendar with other people so they can have it. I know in years past with the sick calendar, we've created it on Google and then we've just sent it out. And if you've noticed with that, then it automatically just pops up on your onto your Google Calendar. It's already there, so you're able to see it. So let's take a look at Google Calendar right now. So this is just going to pull up my Google Calendar. Sorry, that didn't link like I thought it was going to. So under here, I have my Google Calendar. And looking at it, I can view it just by the week up here. I can view by the day, by the month. So looking at it by the month, this is just a blank one. I don't really use this one, obviously. Down here I have my calendars, but if I wanted to add a calendar for school, I would just add this plus button right here. And I'm going to click create new calendar. And we'll just call it school. And here, then it has the owner and all of that. And then I'm going to just create the calendar, and it's going to create it. And now I see that here on school, it has my, it's added under my calendar settings. And so here's all the different things I can do with it. I can auto accept invitations. I can share this with specific people. So if I wanted to create this calendar and I wanted to put out all the K1 and 2 sit meetings with on this calendar, I can then share this with every K1 and 2 teacher to then let you know when those sit meetings are coming. You can do event notifications, which allows you to receive notifications for certain events that are coming up, and it will be visible to the calendar owner. So if I set this, everyone would be able to see it. I can integrate the calendar, and I can also remove the calendar if I wanted to change it. And this allows me, when you create these calendars, these are specific things, so I can control who sees it. So I can still have my personal calendar, and it's just separate from what I would share. I would not share then like my personal calendar with all of you. But if I wanted to create, like I said, like a sit calendar for sit meetings coming up, I can create that and share that with those people that need it. That will also then allow for notifications and things like that to pop up. So there's really a lot of great overlap between, there, pulled up, between the Google Calendar and the Outlook calendar. And it just depends on what platform you're comfortable with. But I know, knowing that a lot of us have actually had questions with this in regards to around the scheduling of different IEP meetings and making sure that we're in contact with the principal, with having her on those meetings and things like that, I think that if we all were to practice a little with it, I think that we'd be surprised with how nice Google Calendar compares to Outlook, and that it'd be really easy to use, especially with those time slots and allowing for accepting or rejecting times due to your current availability. So we'll take the time now to go ahead and get on, and we'll play with it, and I'll be here to help and assist with any questions. And then we'll just keep experimenting and playing with it. And that is all that I had for you today. So thank you very much.